Hi guys, good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sai Kiran. Today we are going to discuss about S3, access points, and then S3 policies. Guys, if you remember yesterday we have discussed about something called static website where we have deployed this with the help of S3 and then with the help of ACM and then with the help of Route 53 and the major services CloudFront distribution, right? So today we are going to discuss something about the access point and policies, guys. There is nothing to explain here. Instead, I have to show you the practicals directly. So we are going to discuss about three practicals. First, we are going to create one S3 bucket, and then we are going to put some files in it, and then we'll block all the access, and we are going to give access to the public users with the help of policies. I'm going to generate with this with the help of policy generator, which was provided by Amazon itself only. And the second one, what practical we're going to do is we have blocked all the public access. Correct, we have blocked all the public access, but still we can give access to the files in it, but we can still give access to the files with the help of pre-assigned url pre-assigned url. And then the third task what we're going to do is we do have S3 bucket. I'm going to erase this, guys, please don't mind. I'm going to erase this. We have one bucket, and then we do have files in it where it has two folders, folder 1 and then folder 2. And then we are going to create two users, user 1 and then user 2. We are not going to give any policies here, even for user 1 and user 2, but still we are going to create some access points here, right? We're going to create some access points here, and we'll make sure that we are able to upload all the files or all the actions whatever we are doing via these access points. Okay, and the last task what we're going to do is there is something called S3Fs. Guys, this is the interview question. Can you mount your S3 bucket to the particular folder, particular directory? It's yes, only with the help of third party tool, only with the help of third party tool. Without third party tool it is not possible. That is something called S3Fs. We are going to create one directory and then we are going to attach the S3 bucket to it, right? Let's go and do the practicals. Okay, here is my console, guys. Guys, before jumping onto the S3 practicals, please launch an Ubuntu instance. Okay, we do have some work with this Ubuntu instance where we are going to install S3Fs, and then we are going to add our, we are going to mount our S3 bucket to this particular directory inside the S3Fs Ubuntu instance. Okay, now let me open my S3. First, we are going to upload some files in the S3, and we'll block all the access, and we'll see how we can able to give the access to the public users. Let me open my S3 bucket, create a bucket. I'm going to give this as Saikiran 236 scroll down, don't change anything, leave as it is, scroll down and then create bucket. Once this is done, make sure you're uploading some files here. I'm going to uploading, see, I'm going to add these three. Don't change any permissions here, simply click on upload. So meanwhile what you can do is you can open policy generator. If you remember during our IAM classes we have used this policy generator a lot to generate the policies. Simply what you can do is select S3 bucket principal star, which means all actions. I need only get objects. I wanted to see the objects, that's it. I don't want any more. And then I'm going to place this ARN here. Go to properties, copy your ARN and then paste it here, slash again all, add the statement and generate policy. Copy this, come back here, go to the permissions. Let me open a file and show it to you first. If I open this file and if I open this link, see, we are unable to access it, access denied. Now come back to your permissions. I'm sorry, go back to your, Yeah, here it is, permissions. Scroll down, make sure you're unblocking the public access. Do not worry, after this we are going to do something called pre-assigned URL, and we will be doing something called access points. There we are going to block the public access also. For now you can unblock, confirm, scroll down, edit, and then paste the policy which what we have generated from the policy generator. Save it. Right, once this is done, go back to your objects again, open any object, and if I click on it, see, it will open now. This should also be open. If I refresh, see, I can able to open it. Now I'm going to remove the policy and will show you something called pre-assigned URL. Okay, I'm gonna block the access again, save changes, objects, I'm sorry, permission, simply click on delete policy, delete, that's it. I'll tell you a scenario before jumping onto the pre-assigned URL. Imagine there is a bucket here and your management or client requesting you not to give access to any of the people for this bucket because your application is saving some data inside this bucket or some artifacts were saving inside this S3 bucket. Okay, so in such case, your management or client said not to give any access to the particular people, but still testing people want to see some image. But how you can achieve this is simply you can click on the image, right? If I open this image now, let me show you first. If I open this image, it's access denied, correct? If I come back to the bucket and if they wanted to watch any image, I'll select this. I have opened this only, right? Access denied, yeah. If I can select this and I can click on actions, there is something called shared with pre-assigned URL. Okay, this has been an default option in the GCP before. Now AWS has also launched this option. Before it was particularly dedicated to the GCP itself only. So if you select shared with pre-assigned URL and make sure you're selecting hours, give the number of hours. For example, in my case I need 3 hours, and then I'll click on pre-assign URL. Copy this URL, give it to the testing team, and if they start entering this, see, they can able to see the image. If I refresh here, I still can't able to see the image, but with the help of this link, I can. Correct? Now let's go back and do the another activity. I'll just remove all the objects inside my bucket. Okay, nice. So this is my bucket, guys. There is nothing inside the bucket. I'm going to create two folders. Okay, one is folder 1. Simply click on create folder. I'm going to create one more folder which is folder 2. Simply click on create folder. Right now, instead of giving access directly to this bucket, okay, my developers, there are two developers. I wanted to give developer 1 folder 1 access, developer 2 to folder 2 access. Okay, but I don't want to give the access directly with the help of users. If you remember, in the IAM we'll be creating some users, and then under that there is something called add boundaries or inline policies, right? We are going to add some policies, and whenever you enter the policies, there automatically that user will be having the particular policies. Instead of doing that, now what we're going to do is we are going to create something called access points. Okay, where the developer 1 and developer 2 will be having all access to the folder 1 and folder 2 for each developer 1 and developer 2, right? So in order to achieve this, what we can do is come back to your bucket. This is my bucket, right? Now I have to create two IAM users. Now I have to create two IAM users. Guys, do not get confused. In IAM now we are going to create two users, and we are not going to give developer 1 password, custom password. Guys, I'm not going to create the developer 2 user. If you're doing practicals, please create developer 2 user and make sure you're giving access to the folder 2 only. Now I'll show you how to do with folder 1. You have to do the folder 2. Okay, So see, I'm not giving any policies, I'm not adding any policies here. I'll simply click on create user. Okay, if I log in here to incognito mode, if I open S3 for this particular user, he will not be having any kind of access. Watch here carefully. He is not have this developer one is not having any access, right? If I go back here also, I haven't added any inline policies or boundary permissions or something, correct? We have just created an user. Now go back to your S3, make sure you're creating the access point. Create access point developer one. Select internet, block all the access. Don't give any policies here. Simply click on create access points. Okay, you have to do for developer 2, guys. I'm going to show you how we can do it with developer 1. Right now, once this is done, come back to your bucket, not to the access points. Come back to your bucket, go to the permissions, make sure you're entering the script. This is our script actually. Okay, if you watch this carefully here, this policy allows any user to perform. Who is the user here? Our user is developer, to perform any action on the specified S3 bucket. Now we have to mention the S3 bucket name here. Go back. Where is my S3 bucket? Here it is. Properties. Properties. Copy your S3 bucket. Paste it here. Okay, it is same. The name is same. Okay. S3 bucket and its objects, right? But only if the action is performed through a data access point. We have already created the data access point here before, if you watch this video, right? Data access point belonging to this AWS account ID with this. This is my AWS account ID, right? I'm going to copy this simply. Go back to your guys, paste it under the bucket permissions, not under the access point permissions. Okay, paste it under the bucket permissions. Click on edit, paste it, save it. Once this is done, now go to your access point, go to the developer one. Now let me open the another script which what you have to mention under the developer one access points. Read this carefully. This policy allows the IAM user. Who is my IAM user here? Developer one. This is the IAM user. Let's go back and quickly paste the ARN of the IAM user. Copy this. Come back here. This is my developer in the AWS account. Okay, account here is my account ID. To perform any actions on all the objects accessible through the S3 access point. See, this is my S3 access point, developer 1. Go back to your access points. This is my, here is my access point. Click on it, properties. Make sure you're copying the ARN. This is the access point. Copy, paste it here. And what is the object here? Object is nothing but folder, right? Guys, make sure that you're entering the folder name properly, not the access point folder name. You have to mention, come back to the bucket. In my case, both are folders only, but in your case, make sure that you're entering this folder name. Okay, not the access point folder. Copy the folder name, and then I'm going to enter it here simply, right? Now I'm going to entirely copy this. You have to follow the same for the developer 2 for giving the access to the folder 2, guys. Do not get confused. Open it, go to permissions, scroll down, click on edit, and then paste it, save it. Now I'm going to see, even if I wanted to copy or do any actions from here, it says this developer 1 is not having any access because we have not added any policies. This developer 1 is not having any policies. But if I try to access it with the access point, it will work. I'll show you how. This is my Ubuntu machine. I have downloaded it from Microsoft Play Store, so you can also download it if you want. Now what I'm going to do is user add hyphen m developer 2 sudo su hyphen. Okay, we are into developer 2. See, now we have successfully logged into the developer 2 user. Now what I'm going to do is simply I'll give aws configure. Make sure that you are entering the access id and then secret key of this user. Go to credentials, access key, other, scroll down, next, create access key, copy the access key, paste it here. Guys, this is not a PowerShell. Do not get confused. This is an I downloaded it from Ubuntu. I mean, downloaded it from Microsoft Store. I'll show you. See, this is Ubuntu 18.4 and 20. Okay, you can also download it from the Play Store if you want. Or we do have something called WSL. I'll show you that one also. This is WSL, Windows Subsystem Linux. You can also use this if you want. Now, where are we exactly? Okay, access point X, and now you have to mention your secret key too, and then yes hyphen east hyphen one, and then JSON. Right now we have given this. Once this is done, what you can do is I do have one command to copy some data here. This is my S3 command. Let me create some file here. I'm going to copy this scikit-run.txt to my S3 bucket. If you watch carefully here, it is not possible. We will be doing it with console from the access points. Right? Go back to your access points. If you watch here carefully in your bucket, now under folder 1 nothing has been there. Right? Now I'll come back here. See, what we are copying here is scikit-run.txt. Copy this. I'll paste here. S3ARN, make sure you're pasting proper URL here. Okay, not the ARN, you have to paste your ARN. Right? Come back to buckets. This is my bucket. Access point, my developer access point. I'll go to properties. See, this is my URL. I'll copy and then I'm going to paste this. Folder 1, yes, this is the object of mine, and my file name is, right, copy entirely. Come back to your, see, if you watch this carefully, we do not have anything under folder 1. Right, now watch carefully. Copied successfully. If I refresh here, see, we have copied. Developer 1 does have access for this icon.txt file. If you go back to your console, you will not be having access because this is an IAM user console. We have not attached a single policy to it. But how we have logged into, I mean, how we have copied it from the CLI is because of what? Because of this access points. Because of this access points. Okay, so that's all guys, that's all for this 3. Now we are going to do one last task. I told you to create one Ubuntu instance, right, which is S3Fs. S3Fs is again a third party tool which is mainly used to mount our entire S3 bucket. Okay, I have connected to my instance already here. Make sure that you are installing all the dependencies. Sudo apt update nn sudo apt install S3Fs. Wait for it to complete. Guys, my S3Fs has been successfully installed. If I check S3Fs version, see, I have my S3Fs. Guys, make sure that you're installing unzip. Okay, sudo apt install unzip, and also make sure that you're installing AWS CLI. I have already installed this before coming to the session itself only. Okay, so here are the 2 steps you have to install. Don't forget it. Once those 2 was done, then what you have to do is go back to your IAM, go back to the users, create a user, name it as S3 full access, don't give any credentials, not required. Attach a policy, attach an S3 full access. Next, and then create a user. Once you have created this user, copy this security credentials, access key and secret key, because now we are going to enter this access key and secret key there. Okay, copy it, come back to your instance, AWS, configure, access key, and then secret key, done, region, usc-1 JSON format. Right now, if you enter S3 AWS S3 LS, enter. See, I can see my bucket here. Now, simply what you have to do is mkdir scikit S3 bucket, right? Enter, and then S3Fs. What was my S3 bucket name? If I come back here, this is my bucket name, scikit 236 Copy it, bucket name, and then directory name. What was my directory name? Scikit S3 bucket. Enter. Now what you have to do is cd bucket df-h grep-i s3. See here, guys, s3 has been attached. What does it mean? 16e. I never seen this. What is 16e? Let me copy this. Is it an exabytes? 16e df-h. See, it's an MB. What is 16e? It is an exabytes or what? Wait, guys, let me check this. Let me see what it says. The output provided is S3Fs, which is FUSC file system user space 16e with the amount of space available. Guys, exabytes. You know how much is exabytes? If you remember yesterday's class, we have discussed about MB, GB, TB, terabytes, and then petabytes, and then exabytes. 10 petabytes equal to 1 exabyte, I think. Yeah, 10 petabytes equals to 1. No, 10 petabytes does not equal to 1 exabyte. Instead, 1 exabyte equal to, okay, okay, 1024 petabytes. Okay, got it. So if you watch this carefully here, guys, our S3 bucket size is 16 exabytes. Okay, you can show them, you can show this to, and like, your friends or someone who is asking what is the space of an S3 bucket. Maybe you can show this 16 exabytes, or you can correct me in my comment section if I am wrong or something, because I believe there is nothing wrong here. Clearly it is showing that it is exabytes with the help of df-h command. See, we have mounted our S3 bucket here and it is showing as exabyte. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching my session. Have a nice day, everyone. We'll see you in the tomorrow's session. Bye bye.